Using the past to support the present. Here at the newly converted Holdsworth Mill in Stockport, you'll find the Metropolitan Borough Council's high-tech contact centre. It's been converted to accommodate the needs of a modern-day community and a modern-day council that's committed to providing all its residents with top-class services.
When we started to develop the e-government strategy, we had to make some decisions because we decided that we couldn't do everything at once, that was impossible. We consulted with our residents, and by far and large the most preferred way of contacting us was via the telephone. And also there was an increasing number of people who really wanted to self-service via the internet.
The days of when callers were actually given the runaround and transferred from service to service, I'd like to think that didn't necessarily always happen at Stockport anyway, but it certainly was the case in some local authorities, and that's certainly not the case now here. We've got a dedicated function here, and people are being dealt with at least 80% of the time at first point, and there is no transfer of calls through to back office anyway.
Good afternoon, Refuse. How can I help you? Speaking to Christy.
300,000 calls come into the contact centre each year. Together with the website and the face-to-face delivery channels in the libraries, for example, the emphasis is on connecting with the customer at every possible opportunity.
We have banks of internet access to computers to allow people who don't have access to that kind of facilities in their homes to be able to access computers, to access the internet, to be able to also access council services.
The ESD-toolkit can provide the council with all the data relating to what services are used and where, giving Stockport a detailed picture of what the community needs and how those needs should be met. An online counselling service for young people emerged after consultation with relevant council departments and the young people themselves. Called Couth, its immediacy on the web is a real plus.
Well, before they would go through counselling services based with the youth service or social services who have waiting lists. Now, because of this site, they can access a counsellor immediately, and if necessary they can see someone face to face by a referral going through the online counselling service into the social services outreach service, and then they can actually see somebody immediately face to face without going through the waiting period.
It's just free confidential advice from counsellors for many problems you might have. It's really easy to use, and you don't have to talk to people, so it's easy to express your feelings.
Stockport has won awards for its website and prides itself on making it completely accessible to everyone, including blind and partially sighted users. The ESD-toolkit can measure customers' responses and transactions and facilitate efficiency for toolkit managers, as well as improve services for residents too.
What the ESD-toolkit has enabled us to do is to make sure that we've got an all-inclusive list of all those transactions. So we've been able to marry the content of the website against the ESD-toolkit to make sure we haven't forgotten anything. And where we do identify something, then we've developed an extra part of the website to cater for that.
Here in Stockport, we use the toolkit to monitor and manage any changes to the BVPI 157 list services so that we can track progress and that we can monitor what's going on with the services. On a regular basis, we download the information from our local tree, put the information into a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet is then sent out to the various service departments. They pass the information down to the individual sections, who then use the spreadsheets to amend, update any service information. This is documented and passed back to the toolkit administrators. They then update the information on the toolkit. We use that information to download into a program of our own that we've written, and from that we produce a spreadsheet summary and charts that we pass to our committee meetings and to our Managing for Change forums so that they understand what's going on with the system.
And being part of the ESD-toolkit community is a huge bonus when it comes to troubleshooting and getting support.
Problem solving, I tend to use the forums quite a lot on the toolkit. I've found that they're quite handy for getting on there and looking at problems or queries that we've got to see if other people have already had the same situation. And also I've posted one or two queries on there, and I've always had a prompt reply back when I've actually put anything on.
Ensuring that all local residents are reached, whether they have a PC or not, is a continuous challenge for Stockport. Although there's a high rate of PC ownership, access via computers in libraries like this maximises the points of contact between customers and council services. This means that the technology is utilised across the board for information as well as business transactions, although change does take time.
I think it's much slower than some people at national level suggest. People use computers, they're used to emailing, they're used to playing computer games. Getting people to actually do transactions, pay bills and so on is a slower process, but it's happening. We've something in excess now of 10,000 payments of council tax on the internet site, and it's very cheap. And also you get air miles. I pay now and again that way, pay by my credit card, and I get air miles. I think that's wonderful.
In an area which has both urban and rural communities, the challenge to utilise technology appropriately to support those communities will always be there. But if customer satisfaction ratings are anything to go by, and they are high, then Stockport's clearly succeeding in its remit to improve its services using all the channels it can to meet customer demand.